I believe we have all the council present. This is the council meeting for December 21st, 2020.
Oh, I'm here.
You have your speaker on?
Okay.
Okay.
The first item is approval of the agenda items. There are no changes to the agenda. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
For which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On December 14th, council met in executive session to discuss collective bargaining issues pursuant to the Sunshine Law. On December 11th, council met for an informational meeting with the manager, Scott Antrachek, and the finance director to review the budget. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Present.
Councilman Petrucci,
Present.
Councilman Getzey,
present.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Present.
Councilman Pecora.
Present.
Thank you. Boy, I really don't want to jinx us, but this should be a relatively quick meeting because of the items on the agenda. Having said that, item number 4, approval. May I get a motion for approval of the expenditures?
I'll make a motion
Mayor
for the
Calabrese,
expenditures.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Any public comment? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Motion approved.
The 5th item is the presentation by Western Penn Hills Community Action, Inc.
Can I move forward now with the presentation?
Yes, please.
Okay. First of all, I bring apologies on behalf of Reverend Hunt. He had to step away because of a member that died. So he's attending to that. So he will not be at this presentation. I'll be doing the presentation. My name is Sheila Johnson Hunt, and we're going to be talking about the Summer Youth Employment Program. We're going to do this PowerPoint presentation, but before we do the PowerPoint presentation, I'd like to share with you some of the concepts that you'll see throughout the presentation to give you an overview of how we approach and what we do in terms of during the summer, this past summer. Basically, what we did with the young people is based in terms of job readiness, community development, and personal development. And we are very appreciative of the money received on behalf of this program. Now, in job work readiness, you'll see things such as employer expectation, communication in the workplace, cover letter writing, resume writing, interviewing, teamwork, that type of thing, because we're trying to get these teams ready to work in Penn Hills, within the Penn Hills workforce, or any other place, but we're looking at Penn Hills. Also, under the community development, you'll see as we do the presentation, information on the lot clearing, the litter patrol, the fire hydrant project, the landscaping project, service projects. And then finally, on the last part, you will see personal development, which is where we deal with the areas in terms of giving them work incentives like the crew member of the week, crew member of the summer, that type of thing, how to start your own business, and all those types of things. So those are the core elements that we deal with: personal development, community development, workforce readiness. Now, we had to do it a little different this year because we had the COVID guidelines that we had to adhere to. And those with the distancing, 6 feet apart, we had to do that inside and outside. We had to deal with not only the distancing, but the hand washing and all the protocol that we were given through Governor Wolf. So at this time, with that information as an overview, start our presentation. Summer Youth Employment Program, because we care. Some of the other things that we did, you'll see coming up now on this particular slide. Litter patrol, which I've already mentioned, lot clearance, community landscape, fire project, mask up project, workplace readiness, and entrepreneurial training. Those are some of the highlights of what we've done. The program, as I've already touched upon, included several again, the lot clearance, fire hydrant clearing, and all the other aspects that you see there. Okay. Litter patrol. Each team had to do litter patrol each week. That was one of the days of the 5 days that they worked. It was just dedicated to that. Now, when they cleared the lot, they also picked up the litter, but then we had a separate time when we dealt with just litter. The lot clearance, basically, when we cleared a lot, we not only had to, we gave priority to corner lots because we wanted to prevent unnecessary car accidents. So where all the overgrowth had gone on a corner, we did the corner lots first. And also, if there was a fire hydrant, we did those first for obvious safety reasons. Now, these are words that some of the participants indicated about their experience. That through the program, I learned how to be a leader, how to care for my community, and how to clear lots. And this is the action shot. For instance, that particular fire hydrant, when we drove up to that corner, was not even, you could not see it. It wasn't visible at all. And so that particular corner on Mount Carmel was an area where we had a lot of work to do. So you see the before and the after. Community landscaping. Not only did we want to give them those particular skills with the lot clearing, and we also wanted to give them some landscaping skills. So we had workshops that we taught them how to use various tools. And so Joyce Davis at Lincoln Park Community Center indicated that they needed some landscaping done up there. And so we were able to take the young people there, and they did a project for her at the community center. They're mulching, they're in front of the community center, again, in the process of doing it. And we have Marcus who said, we learned that teamwork allows us to succeed as a group. And again, this is, that's Joyce Davis up there. If you can recognize her because of the mask that everybody has on. And then in terms of community service, it's not okay. You're helping the community as we clear lots and we make the fire hydrants visible, and you are learning how to be a part of the workforce here in Penn Hills and beyond. But you have to do more than that. So we have community service projects that are significant. And this particular one was that they were helping to straighten up things at the food bank to get ready for the food bank distribution. And we have Demita here that said, I realize now that I have to be grateful for what I have. The fire hydrant project, basically, many of the fire hydrants you could not see. And so the role that we took on was to clear around the fire hydrants so that if something happened, it would be visible for the fire department. Now, we all know that we're in the middle of a pandemic, but there are persons who, because of struggling for food insecurity and a whole lot of other things, that they cannot afford to buy masks. So we have masks, and one of their service projects was to put masks in these packets that were later given away. And so, and you notice here where they're sitting. I see Jair they're 6 feet apart as we try to adhere to at the 6 foot distancing guideline of COVID. So that's why you see them on the furthest end of the tables. Bakari said it like this: I learned how to write a resume, prepare for a job interview, and lead a business meeting. These are all things I will use in the future. Now, at one point, we had to go virtual because of the COVID situation. And this is us continuing with them in terms of doing their work readiness online in a virtual classroom. Of course, this is the first time we had a virtual classroom with everything that's going on. We did not want to like halt anything. We just had to do it a little differently. And this is some of their work, their assignments and what have you that they did while on the virtual classroom.
Dr. Sheila, if you could please conclude the presentation.
Okay. All right. Entrepreneur, I'll talk real quick. We also at the very end taught them in the personal development how to be an entrepreneur, how to start their own business. And some of them actually did start their own business. And we have one person, Jair, whose landscaping business, landscaping/snow business is in effect today. That's it. And we want to thank again the council and each member of the council for supporting the Summer Youth Employment Program. They say every day, I am better, my home is better, my community is better.
Thank you so much for your work and for your presentation. If you will just stay on for one moment, I'm going to open in case any member of council has any comment or question.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
I'd just like to say to Ms. Hunt and Reverend Hunt and their whole organization, thank you so much for what you do for our youth in Penn Hills. I certainly appreciate the job readiness that you are helping to develop in these young people. As you know, everybody doesn't have a good work ethic, and nowadays it's even harder to find employees with good work ethics. And so what you're doing with the youth, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Any other member of council?
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes, Councilman.
I just want to address, some of my questions right now were answered. You have over 650 participants, and I want to thank you for all that you do for the community and the youth. One thing I would have really, it was a nice presentation, very nice presentation, ma'am. One thing I would have liked to learn more about, if you ever get the chance, is exactly where the lots were cleaned and how many streets you were on picking up litter. Just some of those stats. The next time you do a presentation, it'll be interesting to see what these participants, what rows exactly did they hit, and what lots were exactly cleaned. I think the fire hydrant program is fantastic. That was a great idea on your part to have those fire hydrants cleaned, and I know exactly where that fire hydrant is up on Mount Carmel. So thank you again.
Any other member of council? Ms. Hunt, let me say, and I think I speak on behalf of all of council. First of all, kindly extend our condolences to the Reverend Hunt for the death. And thank you so much for the work that you do. I echo the comments of Deputy Mayor Sapp. And I have to say, this may sound surprising, but I think that is pretty cool what you're doing with the mask up. When I saw the mask up portion, I thought, what the heck is that? But you know, we don't think about that. We do think about food and diapers and those sorts of things, but absolutely people do need masks. Thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you for so much for the work that you do in our community.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Any public comment on any agenda items? Now would be the time. Any member of the public can speak about any about any item on the agenda. Okay, unless I'm missing someone, let's move to old business, please. I get a motion on ordinance 2020-2678.
I'll make a motion for ordinance 2020-2678, the authorizing of the execution of a cable franchise agreement between the municipality and Verizon Pennsylvania LLC.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Any comment from council?
Would you repeat that, Mr. Petrucci?
Sure. It's the old business section of our agenda. It says item A, ordinance 2020-2678, authorizing the execution of a cable franchise agreement between the municipality and Verizon Pennsylvania LLC.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Andrzejczyk, can I please ask you to indulge us and give us about, I don't know, 1 minute to explain why this is important?
Sure, Mayor. This cable franchise agreement with Verizon, it allows the municipality to collect a percentage of Verizon's fees that customers pay to receive cable from Verizon. We previously had a 10-year agreement with Verizon to receive, I believe it was 5% of their revenues. This is a renewal of the same agreement. The only thing that's changing is the fact that it's a 5-year agreement now. The old expiring one was a 10-year deal. This is a 5-year deal. Cohen Law Group negotiated this on our behalf, along with some of the other communities in the COG, the Council of Government. So annually, we get about $1 million in revenue from cable franchise agreements. Now, some of that comes from Comcast as well. So this is the same agreement that has expired. The only difference is that it's a 5-year deal instead of a 10-year deal.
And plainly put, it brings.
And I believe the attorney did try to get a 10-year deal, but with cable, with the cord cutting that's happening, and a lot of the cable companies are losing customers, he wasn't able to get a 10-year agreement. So it's the same deal we've had in the past.
Any comment from council?
Now, what type of, Scott, what type of revenue is it bringing in for the public so they know?
Our budget has $945,000 next year, so almost $1 million of cable franchise fee. Some of that comes from Comcast, though, as well. So what portion of that would be from Verizon? I wouldn't be able to answer it. Our finance director may, but in total, we get about $1 million. And out of that million, I'm going to say probably at least half of it is probably Verizon, I would think,
Okay, that's
depending
good.
on if you have Verizon or Comcast.
Thank you, that's good.
So essentially, it's almost, found money, and the fact that really people are moving from other, cable was really not really something that's increasing. It's rather on there are other mediums. So it seems like the 5-year deal is probably the way to go. Roll call, please.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci.
Yes,
Ordinance approved.
Thank you. Moving to new business. May I get a motion on item number 7?
I'll make a motion on item number 7, resolution 2020-57, awarding demolition of blighted and condemned structures for the municipal-wide demolition program of the CDBG program.
Thank you.
Second.
May I get a second?
Second.
Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes,
Councilman Getzey.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
May I get a motion on item number 8?
I'll make a motion on item number 8, ordinance 2680 of 2020, adopting the 2021 operating budget and establishing real estate tax rates for 2021.
May I get a second?
Second.
Any comment from council?
Mayor, just for the public's knowledge, Scott, no raises in real estate, am I correct?
There's no tax increase in next year.
Very good, sir. That's all I wanted the public to hear. Thank you.
Any other comment from council?
Yes, Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Deputy Mayor Sapp.
I'd just like to say what an awesome job to the municipality and no tax raise, no tax increase on real estate. Great job.
Thank you. Any further comment from council?
We're going to talk about the budget right there. Right now, about the budget.
I would like to talk about the budget. Is appropriate?
Yes, Councilman Getzey. Any comment on the budget right now?
Yes, I'm concerned about the budget, mainly because the firemen are not included in this year's budget. And I am concerned about that because of the 3 major health and safety departments, which are police, fire, and the emergency services. The emergency services and the police have a contractual agreement on salaries, and they don't have to negotiate themselves. Similarly with the emergency management people. The firemen don't have that. If there's any discussion or debate about the other 2, the police and the emergency services, they continue under the old contract. They don't lose salary. They don't lose their jobs. They're there. The firemen, I see them collecting money at the intersections. I'm disturbed by that. Why do the firemen, who are part of the 3 major health and safety departments, have to go out and do their own funding? I think they should be in the budget. And at the previous hearing, the chief came and suggested that he wanted to obtain municipal funds to get some equipment. This equipment that they want is not a personal property thing. It's equipment, and the beneficiaries of that are the public. And I think with the current pandemic and the inability of the council, the inability of the firemen to raise funds as they normally do, that it should be considered, their request should be considered in this budget. I think that would be a resolution of this year. Now, I suggest that in the coming year, a better look be taken at what the firemen want, what they need. And I understand there's a study being done that's supposed to come and do an appraisal of the cost and the number of fire departments and that kind of thing. This study, as far as I know, we're waiting for it for about 18 months. When's this going to come? Who knows anything about it? So I wouldn't approve the budget on the basis of I would like to see something for the firemen. Another problem with the budget, I've gone through the budget. I have pages of notes. We have no way to discuss this budget. We have to look at the budget. We come to council. Council cannot meet separately to discuss the budget. And how do we know what everybody else is thinking? If I had a wish list, I would put on there that council would be mandated to have an 8-hour session where we could go over the budget and not decide whether we're going to fund it or not, but just to answer some of the questions I have about the budget. I have these budget concerns. I don't think the firemen should be out there soliciting funds. They are, a very important part of our health and safety program. They're very vulnerable too, because they don't have any negotiating contracts, and what can they do? They come and ask for money. People say, well, they have money. If they have money, it's because the way they are funded is so arbitrary, I think, that if anything happens, they need to rely on their own resources. So without going any further, I think that needs to be explored. I think the firemen should be included in the budget. I don't know what, I was asked what my starting point is. My starting point is whatever they ask for and see what happens. But I don't think this budget should go through without the firemen being listened to. There's a huge number of people who support the firemen, family, friends, and I think somebody on council, which would be me at this time, should recognize that there are people who support the firemen and feel that they shouldn't have to come asking for money and be denied. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment from council?
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'd just like to jump back in. I didn't realize we were going to take this time to go into detail and given our comments on the budget. So I just really wanted to reiterate what I said, but in more detail. So I want to thank all of the department heads for working so diligently to keep our costs at a minimum, and also running the department. So they all did a great job. And to our business manager, thank you so much, and our finance department and our finance director, you all did an amazing job along with mayor and council this year. I am so honored and so proud that we have a balanced budget, that we have a surplus, and that we're passing our budget with no tax increase for real estate. So again, congratulations, good job. Thank you so much for the work that you all do.
Thank you. Any further comment from council? I would like to say, yes, sort of to address Councilman Getzey, to be clear, well, there were two things. You said there is no way to discuss the budget. In fact, Councilman Getzey, just so the public is clear, when we started tonight's meeting, I said that we did in fact have an informational meeting with the manager and the finance director on December 11th. We have had budget hearings. This is the third meeting we're having on the budget that's public. As I say, we did meet on December 11th. At the time, we absolutely were free to ask any and all questions. And I would like to say thank you very much to our finance director who did offer very much education at that time. Secondly, in terms of the statement that the firemen are not included in the budget, I don't think that's accurate. We do have funds in here for the firefighters. And I will say this, I personally met with the firefighters. I think we each, if I'm not mistaken, I think every member of council was invited to meet with each of with the chiefs and with the firefighters back in early in January or February of this year. And I know that I personally met with the chiefs, and at that time met with Chief Jeffcoat, and I said, what is it that you would need? Let us know, tell us how much you need, what you need. And at that time, the only two things I could think of were raising taxes or a fee, a tax fee, I'm sorry, a fire fee. And at that time, the firefighters requested that we not do that. And so I said, okay, go to the drawing board and talk and come back and let me know what you think. Then COVID hit. And then I met with the firefighters again on right after our November meeting. We met on November 16th for about 2 hours. And at that time, we renewed the request, tell us how much you need. So we're not saying, no, we won't have, I think that everybody on council does support the firefighters. We just need to have a more specific dollar amount. So just so the public knows, please understand, we support the firefighters, recognize how important equipment is. My father and my grandfather were firefighters, so I personally, firefighters are very near and dear to my heart. We're not saying there won't be any increase. In fact, the budget does address the firefighters. We just need to have specific amounts, and we need to figure out how to fund that. Having said that, I join in.
May I respond to that? May I respond to that?
Well, really, the time for comment is over, but I will indulge you since I did respond to you.
I think I should be able to respond to your comments because I was never invited. I was never invited to any meeting with the fire department earlier this year. Secondly, the budget hearings to me are just a facade. 2 years ago, I went to a budget meeting. At the first budget meeting, I had 6 questions. I was told, no, you can ask your questions at the second budget meeting. At the second budget meeting, I went up to ask my questions. I was told I had 1 minute to ask one question. These budget meetings, the manager can do the budget, and it's been pointed out, he presents the budget. And it's not necessarily open for the community, they can comment, but he presents the budget and then he turns it over to council. Council hasn't made any changes in the budget. I would have welcomed the opportunity to address it, but I don't think the meetings serve the purpose they're intended to. If the manager can just present it and doesn't have to, abide by any comments, and it just goes through that way. And I don't think many people don't comment. They don't have the opportunity. They can't come out. And for all those reasons, I've gone through the budget and I've highlighted a bunch of things that we've never been able to talk about. And we've been told we can't get together and make a decision. And we had an informational meeting at which we could not discuss all these things. I have pages of things I've notated that I don't understand or have questions about or I'd like to comment on. We would be here all night if I went into that. And I feel I've not had an opportunity to address this. I don't think anybody else does, and I don't think the public gets a fair shake when they come and make comments, and sometimes, mostly they don't. And so we're in a bad time here, but I'm concerned about the whole budget process, and I'm not happy with it.
Thank you, Councilman Getzey. Just to respond, I was not here whenever you ask questions to the prior mayor, I certainly have never cut anyone off. We have had informational meetings and we have had public hearings. So and the public is certainly free to come and ask questions they have, and you and the public, not just members of council, but the public is free to come to public meetings, and they're also free to come in to the municipal building and meet with the manager, to meet with myself, to meet with any member of council, and to meet with the director of finance. Having said that, I echo the sentiments of the deputy mayor. I'm very, very proud of this budget. I thank each of the directors so much. I think I gave you a hard time. I said, can you cut here, there, and everywhere? And I'm very, very proud that we are not raising taxes. I'm very proud that for the first time in years, we are actually going to end with a surplus. Thank you so much for your work, and I think that the residents of Penn Hills have been very, very well served by your efforts. I know it's not easy. Revenue, it's just not easy, but you've done a fantastic job, and I'm so very, very proud to end this year with a surplus and no tax increase. I thank you so very much. Roll call, please.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
No.
Deputy Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
Item carries.
Moving to approvals, may I get a motion for item number 9A?
Oh, Mayor, I'll make a motion for 9A, approve the council meeting calendar for 2021.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I second that motion.
Any comment from council? Roll call.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora.
Yes.
Item approved.
Thank you. Item 9B, may I get a motion?
Make a motion for 9B, ratify agreement with Alcoasand for $109,700 for McFarland Drive Sewer Rehabilitation Project.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Second the motion.
Thank you. Any comment from council? Roll call.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora.
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
motion approved.
As we move to item 9C, this is to approve the transit shelter agreement between Lamar Advertising. What happens is that Lamar rents that space from us, so to speak. Even though this is on the agenda right now, I would like to try to go back to Lamar and get an increase. We have a large ridership here in Penn Hills, and I just think it would be worthwhile to try to get an increase, no matter how small. I would like to make another attempt. So having said that, I would like to make a motion to table item 9C. May I get a second to table this?
I'd like to motion.
I second that motion.
Comment. With the comment, I'll motion it for you, Mayor, but with the comment. I have a comment that I want you to add something to this contract also, if you don't mind.
Sure. Please let us hear your comment.
Well, here's the thing. We have garbage cans at a lot of these places where these Lamar huts are, okay? I was instrumental in putting them in there at one time. We have some type of a verbal agreement for them to pick up the litter in the garbage cans. How about we get something in the contract that says that I see that they're doing $2,000 for a beautification, maybe upgrade some of these rubbish cans that are in there, and for them to take care of the garbage that's in them, dump them once a week like they're doing on a Tuesday. That would make it a lot easier for a lot of people that are going out. I know there's one on Long Road that's not getting emptied on a regular basis. Maybe we could put that in there and get that cleaned up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. This probably should have been done years ago. Having said that, may I get a motion to table 9C?
I'll make a motion to table 9C.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
On the motion to table, Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci.
Yes.
Item tabled.
Thank you. May I get a motion for 9D?
I'll make a motion for 9D, approved certified eligibility list for police officer hiring.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from council?
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I just wanted to put it on public record that we are indeed doing some things to broaden our outreach as we search or as we solicit for police officers, that we are doing some new work in finding new ways to make our police force more diverse. So just wanted it to be on public record that we are looking at ways to make our police force a more diverse police force.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I'm glad you brought that up. Any other comment from council? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Any items for consideration?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I have a couple and I'll make them real short.
I'm going to hold you to that.
First one, I would like to propose that we lift residency requirements for all employees except for directors. This would allow us to reach out to a bigger pool of people to employ. And for an example of that is the paramedics. We have it in their hiring process that you must be a resident to hire a paramedic in Penn Hills. I think it would be a better pool of people if we could go out and reach out from, to people that don't live in Penn Hills, okay? The directors, yes. The employees, no. Second item, I would propose that every traffic light in Penn Hills be equipped with the Opticon emergency vehicle system. 2 intersections to start with would be Leechburg and Salzburg, Duff and Frankstown. What is an Opticon, you ask? I'm glad you asked that all. An Opticon is a system designed by Global Traffic Technologies, GTT. It's a traffic control system that provides a green light and therefore the intersection right away to emergency vehicles. Equip vehicles with an intermittent which broadcasts a visible light and invisible infrared signal to a receiver. So basically what happens is if they get an emergency call, they go through the intersection, they automatically the transmitter on the police car or the paramedics or the fire department vehicles would set it off and the intersection would be clear. It's a safety issue right now. And I think it will be a great system to put, especially in those 2 intersections, because I understand we've had some problems with it. Manager and tray check. A couple things. You don't have to answer them now, but I've been on the back burner here. What happened to the learner program? What happened with the food trucks? Just, you don't have to answer me right now. We had a couple issues with those 2 ordinances. Maybe at some time you can give us a memo what happened to the learner and the food truck. I propose that we do a municipal-wide learner program, and the food trucks, I said, if we don't, let's not charge them anything, but if we have to charge her something, I think we have in the peddlers code, we have a minimum charge. And Merry Christmas, and to all a good night. Thank you all.
I have a comment. At a previous council meeting, we tabled a motion on the bed and breakfast issue, an amendment to the zoning ordinance, and regulations over monitoring the activities of anybody who owned one. We tabled that. Is that going to come up again?
Yes, of course.
Next meeting?
We'll have to take a look at how far along we are on the amendment of the ordinance. That had to be.
Well, I thought it was ready, it was up for a motion to approve at the last council meeting. We tabled it because of some questions about it. And I thought it was going to come up again today. When is it going to come up? Next month? What's the status of it right? What's the status of it right now?
Well, first of all, let me say we are on items for consideration.
Yeah.
So is that your question? Or you're done with your items for consideration?
Yeah, my question is if we tabled it last time, shouldn't it have been on the agenda this time?
No, not necessarily, because I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, if this practice is continuing without the amendment and without the oversight of the owners, there were a couple people from the neighborhood who raised objections to it. And I'd just like to see, this is something that needs to be discussed before it goes any farther to protect everybody who's involved, the people who want to have them and the people who don't want to have them. I think it should be clarified, and I don't think it should go any further until it is clarified. And another question is, are those bed and breakfasts going to be, for taxing purposes, considered businesses, or are they considered residential? This is a very significant thing to the neighborhoods.
All right, Councilman Getz, you just answered your own question. That's why it's not on tonight, because it's not sufficiently fleshed out yet.
Well, how is that going to happen? There's been no discussion of it since the last council meeting. How are we going to decide? Who's thrashing it out?
If I could just add something to the conversation, Mayor.
Yes.
The item appeared on the agenda and then it was tabled. And then at the subsequent meeting, it appeared under old business and it didn't go any further. It didn't garner support to come out of old business. So substantively, the document that was originally introduced hasn't changed. So the document that was put before council a few months ago, it's the same document that exists today. There hasn't been any changes made to it. So that's just, I just want to give you the status of it. That there's not been any changes made. As far as the taxation question, I'd have to probably, I don't have a good answer for you right now on that.
Well, there's a lot depending on the people in the neighborhoods have a lot dependent on it. The people who want to do this have a lot dependent on it. And I think we have questions about it, particularly taxes and other questions regarding the zoning. Zoning is meant principally to protect residential areas, and I'm concerned about this whole issue.
Any other items for consideration? I would like to report that a while back I met with the members from the Shade Tree Commission and we walked Rodi Road. Rodi Road is one of our gateways to our community, and I think it could use some sprucing up. Unfortunately, the state doesn't have money to do the long-term planning just yet that I would like to see done. I think that many of us would like to see done. In the long run, I'd love to see like decorative lighting there. In the meantime, we have some issues. The lighting is just really poor. Not only is it really unattractive, it's also dangerous. So the manager went out last week and took a look at each of the lights to see which lights were burned out, what need to be replaced. And we have the assistant planner is Meg. She's working with Duquesne Light right now to try to replace some of the lights, to increase the lighting. So hopefully, in the long run, we have a lot to do with Rodi Road, but in the short run, at least we're trying to improve the lighting, and the Shade Tree Commission is going to try to make it a little attractive. I thank those folks so much. It was a pretty cool day, but we walked Rodi Road, and I know what I would like to see, but I don't know how to do it. But they do have the expertise, so they actually went through and made sort of a map, I'll call it, to see if we can plant trees to make things more attractive. One of the complaints that we have are dumping. Long Road was a terrible mess, and I would love to say thank you so much to the municipality for the cleanup along Long Road. These things don't happen quickly. We see these sites and we need to see them cleaned up, and fortunately that is cleaned up. I'm also happy, very, very ecstatic to see that the county has taken care of the gas station that as you're coming off the Parkway East onto Rodi Road, that really, really unsightly abandoned gas station is now gone. I'm so grateful for that. So we have a lot of really good things that are happening where we're cleaning up and really moving forward. When I first got elected, one of the very, very first meeting I had was with, thank you to Betty Arndt. She introduced me to some folks at UPMC. We met downtown, and we had lunch, and I said, come up to Penn Hills. We scheduled a luncheon, and we scheduled a tour. And I believe that was scheduled for March 19th, 2020. And of course, everything shut down around March 13th. So that didn't happen. So much, COVID has caused so much of a delay in many things we like to do. However, I promised that I would contact Bill Flanagan. Many of you might recall him as from KDKA. He is with the Allegheny Conference on Community Development. I spoke with him last week. He loves the idea of doing a tour of Penn Hills to see how we can make improvements. He asked me to wait until after the holidays, so ideally I will be having a Zoom meeting or however we're going to do it. But he is very excited to meet after the holidays. So we have some really good housekeeping things that are happening. In addition to that, I'm it was really awesome to see our light out night. I didn't know how John Scaglione was going to pull it off, but once again, he did. My hat is off to you. He's amazing how he makes these things work. The deputy mayor was there with all of her elfness, or whatever you want to call it, but she's very cheery. And the other members of the council were there as well. So it was really, really, I think, just sensational that we were able to have a fabulous light up night. And it was very nice that the kids actually got to stay in the cars where it was warm. So it was really a beautiful, beautiful evening. On Thanksgiving, I had the privilege of giving out turkeys with Bill Neal, who is a member of our community with the Nonprofit Alliance. And we gave out, he tells me, probably close to 300 turkeys. There was no criteria. Anybody that showed up got one. We were masked, social distance, and folks drove in through Eaton Park on Frankstown Road, got their turkeys and cookies and hot chocolate, and went on. And then we had the toy giveaway at the Fold on Frankstown Road with Mr. Neal again. And that was the great toy giveaway. I'm told they've been doing that for 46 years. I wasn't here 46 years ago, so I'm going to take him at his word that he tells me that he's been doing this great toy giveaway. So it was really, really my pleasure to see so many children. Again, he tells me we had a few hundred children come through, and each child got to choose 2 toys. There were bicycles there and all sorts of things. So even though we have so many constraints with COVID, I think Penn Hills is doing a very, very nice job of still staying connected with the community. And on a final note, I would like to once again say I'm looking forward to working with the firefighters to see exactly what they need so we can work with them specifically on their needs. And I'm very, very proud of the efforts, and I'm very, very proud that we have a balance that does not have a tax increase, and we have a surplus, which we haven't had in several years. Having said that, I would like to, on behalf of all of the municipality and council, I would like to say to all of you a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year, very happy holidays, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year. However, there will be one more meeting on a public meeting, a special meeting on December 30th.
At 3 p.m.
Monday at 3, it says on here on December 28th at 3 p.m.
Sorry, that's an error. It's
That's an error?
it's actually on that's my error. It's actually on the 30th at 3 p.m.
So that's what I thought. Okay, so it's the 30th at 3 p.m. Oh, I'm so sorry. Before I wish you a good night, please forgive me. Please forgive me. We have public comment on non-agenda items. So I'll get the chance to wish you a happy new year again. Please forgive me. Manager, would you please move forward with the public comment on non-agenda items?
Yes, Mayor. At this time, I'll call the names in the order that they signed up for the agenda. And I would please remind the speakers that they are limited to 3 minutes. First is Carolyn Pandolfo. If you're on the call, please identify yourself.
Yes, hello, I'm Carolyn Pandolfo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Well, so much for allowing me the time to speak this evening. Again, my name's Carolyn Pandolfo. I'm a resident of Penn Hills. I purchased my first home here last summer, and I'm very proud to call Penn Hills my home. And this is my very first time attending a city council meeting, so I'm very excited to be here. But the reason that I'm attending is unfortunately not so exciting. I'm attending to help speak and advocate on behalf of Felicia Harvey. I'm sure by now everybody is familiar with the unfortunate and absolutely tumultuous situation that she's enduring right now. Ms. Harvey has been terrorized by one of her neighbors since coming to Penn Hills, and that is just, in my opinion, not something that Penn Hills stands for. And I know a lot of our friends and neighbors have been really disturbed by the situation that's going on with Ms. Harvey. And I just wanted to be in attendance tonight to help advocate for her, but also to learn a little bit more about what is being done to help advocate for her and to address the legal aspect of her situation.
You read that already.
Can I say something in this silence here?
No, this is not the appropriate time, Councilman.
Okay.
Is the speaker ending her comments? Are you giving back the balance of your time?
Yes, I am.
Now is it appropriate?
No, Councilman, this is not a question and answer session. Is the solicitor available? Manager? Would either one of you like to address?
I'm here.
I think Ms. Pandolfo, please forgive me for mispronouncing your name. I think she asked about the legality of this. I don't know that that's something I would like, if you can address that.
Reiterate it for me, Mayor, please. I had a hard time hearing.
Ms. Pandolfo is asking about the legality of the situation. So if you or the manager could address that.
I think Craig might be having an issue. What I would say, Mayor, is that I wouldn't be comfortable. There is an active investigation into that. We have fielded complaints from the residents. I know that the police have been there when they were called to go there. And I think Ms. Pandolfo's question was, what is being done to remedy the situation? And I would tell you that it's a situation that we've responded to many times. And that's all I really could say about it at this point.
I apologize. I've been having some audio difficulties with my computer. I had to jump off for a second and jump back on. But yes, there are active investigations going on. If you look at the docket on the Allegheny County, not the Allegheny, but the Unified Judicial Portal, there are numerous cases that the magistrates dealt with on this. There's also civil cases that are going on. At this point, it's really not appropriate to discuss until the police and Chief Burton have the opportunity to complete whatever investigations that they have ongoing in the matter.
Okay, thank you for addressing my question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker that has signed up to discuss a non-agenda item, Felicia Harvey. If Miss Harvey is on the call, please go ahead. I don't believe she's on the call.
Let's just wait 1 second to make sure we don't miss her. I don't see her on my screen.
Mine.
No. No.
Since it appears that Ms. Harvey has left the meeting, I would now like to appropriately say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I wish you a very healthy and Happy New Year, unless I see you on otherwise I will see you on the 30th at 3 p.m. Having said that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mayor Pauline Calabrese. I am joining telephonically. I would like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
of the
United
United States of America and to the republic
Republic for which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty.
liberty
liberty and
and
justice for all.
justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Present.
Councilman Petrucci,
Present.
Councilman Getzey,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Present.
and Councilman Pecora.
Thank you. Before we begin on the for the motions, are there any comments from the public? Any comment from council? May I get a motion to approve the expenditures from December 22nd, 2020 to December 30th, 2020?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the expenditures.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I get a roll call?
Councilman Petrucci,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sapp,
Yes.
Councilman Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Expenses approved.
Thank you. Manager, is there any other business?
I have none at this time, although I did report to council a few minutes ago that our workers' comp number from Fidelity did come in a little lower than what it was yesterday. So I feel we're competitively priced, and I did tell him to renew our policies a few minutes ago.
Thank you very much, Manager. So we don't need a roll call on that. We have a definite renewal of that renewal with Fidelity Insurance.
Yeah, that is correct.
Terrific. Thank you very much. May I get a motion before we move for adjournment? I would like to wish everyone a very, very happy new year, and I look forward to working with everyone in the coming year. May I get a motion for adjournment?
Motion for adjournment.
Second
Can I
the
get a
motion.
second?
Second.
Thank you. This meeting
Happy
is
New Year.
adjourned.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.